Hello again, gamers. Welcome back to the Board Game Captain. I'm the Board Game Captain,
I'm Lynn.
and today we are going to be talking about and telling you how you play the game Parsely. So, a little bit of background. We discovered this game system at Gen Con because, why don't you tell the story? You signed us up for an adventure.
We didn't get a lot of our first choices, and we were looking at different things in the event catalog to fill up some space in our schedule. And I saw the description for this, and I didn't quite know what was going on, but it sounded interesting.
So
So
the name of the game that you signed us up for was called Muffins: A Parsley Adventure.
Yes.
Which you said, according to the description, was like a real world version of playing a old style text based adventure game from the old like Apple II or Commodore 64 era, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we played it. It was awesome. And then the next day in the exhibit hall, we saw the book for Parsley, which includes lots of adventures, not the adventure we played, but lots of adventures, and you bought it. So now we're putting this in the role playing game list because I wasn't really sure where to do it. It is a book game. I'm not sure. I mean, do you think this qualifies as a role playing game?
I think it does.
I'm having trouble deciding. It's like I'm agreeing to put it there, but I'm not really certain. It's kind of weird. But if it is a role playing game, it kind of feels like one in that you have one person running it, and then everybody else is going on an adventure. But it feels like a role playing game that's very much tailored, one, to be nostalgic for people who remember the text based adventures, because it runs like that. And two, also to be something that's very easy to just pick up and play when you just want to play a game. You don't want to have a campaign. You want to play a one off for a party or something, and everybody can get involved. And because you can't do a campaign with this.
Probably not. I
No.
mean, we did the first Action Castle, but there's Action Castle 2 and 3 in here. I don't know if that's...
But you don't gain experience or anything.
No.
So that's what I'm saying is like you can't really do a campaign with this. They're
Yeah.
really meant to all be one-offs. So let's show a little bit of the inside here to show kind of like what we're talking about and what we're looking at. So you get these maps for the different adventures. I'm not ruining too much. This is just a very basic adventure, which is done really just to teach you how to play. And then they have lots of areas where, depending on where you are, it tells you what the appropriate things are people can ask to do, where they can go from there. You can refer back to the map. If they try to ask NPCs questions, which is why you need no prep. It's all in there. So now we've played a few games of this, and it's really interesting because one thing is 100% recommend. If you're going to play this, get paper and pencil. You're going to want to draw a map yourself to figure out where everything is. That's really important.
Yes.
And also to leave notes about things you didn't do or notes of things you need to remember.
Inventory, what you have in your inventory.
All very important. But so why don't we just why don't you go to the beginning of the first one and read it like you're running it, just so we can show them so they get the idea of how this kind of goes.
Okay.
So like let's go to the beginning of Action Castle 1.
So. The first thing that it says in Action Castle is you are standing in a small cottage. There is a fishing pole here. A door leads outside.
Take fishing pole.
You now have a fishing pole.
Search cottage.
You see an old lamp. It's currently unlit.
Take lamp.
You now have a lamp.
Examine. Examine cottage.
That
What was it? What were the exits again and all?
it doesn't say exits. You can exit the
Oh, that's
cottage.
it? Okay. So exit cottage.
You're on a lush garden path that leads north and south. There is a rose bush here. There is a cottage here.
Search rosebush.
You find a single red rose.
Oh, do I have that in my inventory now?
Yes.
Go.
Well, you have to pick it up.
Oh, take rose.
You now have a rose.
Go south. See now with this, I'd be writing the north and south and figuring out the map as we go. Go ahead.
You're at the edge of a fish pond. A path leads north.
Use fishing rod.
You catch a wriggling fish.
So now, as you can see, this is kind of how it goes. Now, if you play with more than 2 people, so with 2 people, one person's being basically the game master, or in this case, really, like you're being the computer.
Yes.
And you've got everything there. But I mean, you've run a few games of this. Do you find it fun to run?
Yeah. The longer, the more advanced ones, because that was
that's a very basic
that's
one.
a very beginner one. It took about 20 minutes to go through. And then we decided to, skip the medium ones and go right to an advanced one. And one thing I didn't realize was that there are so many options for some locations that it went on to the next page. So, like,
You do have to check around.
Someone would say, like, I want to do this, and it wouldn't be there. But then, like, 10 minutes later, when I had to go to a different location, I would see it was on the back side of the page. And I was like, oh, that thing you wanted to do?
Yeah, so do make sure
Yeah.
to check the next page. But do you like running it? Do you think it's fairly intuitive?
Yeah, it tells you, everything that they can and can't do. Certain things, the things that they can pick up are underlined. The things that only you're supposed to know and they're not are written in blue. I mean, of course, you can fudge it a little if you feel like it. We ended up fudging some things just because I was like, why not? You know?
So it's okay. So playing it, I find it incredibly fun too. I think this is a really cool thing. When you have more than one player, in addition to the game master, the way it goes is you each take a turn, because you're, unlike a normal role-playing game where everybody has a character, you're all kind of sharing a character in this. So what happens is, so like you discuss with each other, like, oh, what are we trying to do? Oh, we have a fishing rod. There was that lake. Let's go to the lake and get a fish, because there's that troll who likes fish, and maybe we can give the troll the fish, and just as an example. And then he'll let us through the bridge. So you're going to discuss these things. Then you're like, all right, so which way do we have to go? And people check them out. All right, we got to go west, and then south again, and then we'll be at the lake. So the next person goes, okay, go west. The next person goes west again. The next person says, go south. The next person, then when the game master says you're at the lake, the next person says, use fishing rod, and you get the fish. So this is kind of how it goes. And you keep doing this until you figure out all the puzzles, talk to all the people, and get to the end. And at the end, it scores you. And it scores you based on if you found every area, and if you did everything, and if you found every item, and if you found everything, you get a full max points. But for everything you missed, if you missed a secret room, or you didn't find one item, or something like that, it'll reduce your score, and it gives you an idea of how well you did. Regardless of how well you did, you won by getting to the end, so you've always won. But it scores you to let you know how well you won.
Yeah.
And so you could maybe try to play it again and do better.
And in Action Castle, there was no way for the players to die, but in
some of them you can.
In the advanced one, there were many ways to die.
And if you die, you get just points off basically, and you get to respawn and go again, which is a good way to do it, because then you can still win. You're just going to win with a lower score. And being that there's a lot, how many adventures are in here? How many do we have in this book? Because this seems like there's a lot.
There's, I want to say there's like 12 or so. Oh, they're not numbered. They're just, 12, yeah.
Okay, so
I think I've counted them before.
So and how are they grouped? Do they say the difficulties there? How are they grouped by difficulty? Or
I think that they're kind of grouped by theme.
Okay, so not really.
Because Action Castle, there's Action Castle, Action Castle 2, and Action Castle 3, and they go up
easy, medium, and hard.
Yeah, Action Castle 3 is experienced. And then I think that's the only one. Those are the only ones that have like they're like sequels. The rest, I think, are just... See, now, then the next one is a beginner.
Okay, so...
And then the next one is... This was an advanced one.
All right, so it's fairly evenly split then? It kind of bounces around between the difficulties?
I want to... Maybe it's alphabetical. It's alphabetical.
Okay. So, yeah, we'd have to go in and look. But they seem to have a wide variety between the different difficulties. You've got some easy ones, some medium ones, and some advanced ones. I think there's more of the medium and advanced than the basic ones. There's probably only a couple basics. But there's a lot of replayability in here. You've got 12 different missions. I think this game plays really good at 2 players, or 3 players, or 4 players. But we played the game we played at Gen Con had like 30 players, and it still played really well. So, I mean, the more people you have, the more there are a chance for different people to think of different things, and there's more discussion to go around. But it also plays really well at less players as you just talk and figure it out and do your thing. And this makes a really great way to just have one-off adventures in an RPG-ish sort of game. So, I mean, I really like it. Where are you at with this point-wise? Like, how many points are you going to give to Parsely?
I would give it 9.
Wow. Okay, so you adore this. I mean, 9. That's
I like it.
huge. Don't be a hipster. You adore this. So 9 is. I mean, there's only 1 point higher you could have gone. So but you know what? I agree. I really like this game. I've had a little trouble figuring out where I want to put this. I've decided to give Parsely a 7.5. I really like it. It wasn't quite enough for me to give an 8, only because you can create your own adventures once you get used to how these are going, but it's going to be a little harder than it would be with a regular role-playing game because you literally have to write everything out. So just based on the book, you've got 12 adventures you can run, and you can run them with multiple people because if you're not the one adventuring, you can run it many times. But once you're done playing the 12 adventures, you're basically done. So I would have, if there was an easier template for making adventures yourself, I might have gone as high as an 8. I think that's the only thing holding it back for me, but still a 7.5 is quite good.
I don't think it would be all that difficult to make up your own. I don't know why.
We'll have to try it then. But once we're done with the adventures that are in here. But yeah, I really like this game. I think it's really cool. You know what? If you are interested in doing a tabletop version of the old text-based adventure games, which plays somewhat like a great way to do. I mean, it kind of feels like a book of modules rather than a game system. It's like a book of one-off role-playing game modules is what it feels like, because each one is a module that is ready to be run and can be run at a moment's notice with no prep. You're just ready to go. And if you want a book like that to have fun with on game night or at a party, just for one-offs or for a convention, this game is really fun for that. So that's 7.5 stars from me, 9 stars from Lynn. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see us do more like it, be sure to give it a like, share it on all forms of social media, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Board Game Kaptain, that's Kaptain spelled with a K, on YouTube, and hit that little bell icon on my channel so you get alerts every time I upload a new video. And until next time, game on.